Oh, what up, Grand Rising gods and gods? We back for another mindset, mindfulness, motherfucking moon day. What a wonderful weekend or weekend it might have been, but we here to charge back up, ladies and gentlemen. So whenever DJ Crazy Man step to the turntables, spin that intro.
Just received an
It's the Think High crew, yeah.
Just received an
Yo, it's the Think High crew. What up?
Just received
Yeah,
an
it's the Think High crew. You know, it's the Think High crew. What up? It's the Think High crew. Yeah. It's the Think High crew. Yeah. 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 Welcome to my hood. Where ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Where everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. You can stay down, we got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. If you really drive around, step into the buckle up. I'ma show you where it's at. We gon'
What's up? What's up? Buckle up. Show you where it's at.
Yo, what's poppin'?
It's Monday.
What's poppin', everybody? What's good
We got
with
puppies going crazy.
Hold on, I'm trying to get my
So
cousin MJ up in here. Sorry, guys.
hopefully everybody's mindset's a little better than mine because I have been going full speed ahead since about 4:30 this morning, but I'm used to it. There's just one addition added, this new puppy.
Yeah,
But it's
buddy.
all good. So I'm sure everybody saw I'm sure everybody that was going to see it saw the Super Bowl, and I'm sure that everybody that's going to see or that's going to get on the internet in any form is going to see all the stuff. It's crazy, boy.
I was watching it. I ain't even gonna cap on niggas.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole game. I had a whole Super Bowl party and everything. Shit. I cooked all
You
kind
had
of
yourself a
food.
little Nephilim party.
Yeah, I did.
Hold on, let me send my cousin MJ this link real quick, guys. Give me 1 second, cause we have somebody special, a special guest for today. My cousin MJ was gonna stop by. He recently graduated from broadcasting school, and he's doing this thing with his podcast. They have a sports podcast, so this guy has a little bit of insight. Now I know I play sports, Nova plays sports, but we were never broadcasters or analysts quite per se. So I thought it'd be dope to have somebody who's actually got a degree in that shit to come and be like, hey, this is what was going on in the sports world for that,
Yep.
and give us a sports outlook on it. So I just sent to
While we're waiting on that, since Megawatt's only got a few minutes, did you want to get into the astrology, Megawatt?
Yeah, for sure. Give me 1 second on
Okay.
my screen.
No, you're good. Wow, this puppy is crazy. I'm telling you that right
Yeah,
now.
I know one thing though. I know one thing's for sure. If I'm motherfucking goddamn Swiss Beats, I'm I'm about to whoop Usher ass. I ain't even
He's already like that before that ever happened. He's already like that.
shit. Fuck all of that. I'm whooping Usher.
For what?
He grabbed Alicia Keys and
Uh,
basically,
yeah, that's all part of the show. Shit,
yeah.
Swiss Beats is like, oh, an extra million for that? Sure, no problem.
Hmm.
Alicia Keys out here fucking everybody anyway, probably just like everybody else. What's
All
$1
right.
million for a butt touch?
Well, I mean, it's just the principle of it for a nigga like me. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, that's fine and Danny. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, you didn't fucking touch the guitarist like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like, you
no.
ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't touch, there's a whole
Her.
bunch of bitches out there dancing that you could have touched like that and made the show something fucking spectacular. But you put your fucking arms around, look, I'm gonna put a
Yeah, but
picture
don't nobody
in
know
the
who them
comments.
like you exactly like you just said though. Nobody knows who them other people are. So
Yeah. So it was,
it
that's
would be
why,
a it wouldn't even be looked at as like part of entertainment. Then it would be like, oh, Usher uh forcefully abused this person. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Um but yeah, if we want to go ahead and get into it, my
Yeah,
bad, Megawatt.
you're
What's
good.
up, MJ? I'm bringing you to the panel.
So, I probably a lot of there was a lot of partaking in substances over the weekend. With the moon was in Pisces, and so that gives everybody the freedom to, entertain as much as they want or do whatever they want. So you'll be feeling a little bit of the gate check as you come back into Monday morning here. So, and the moon has now moved into Aries. So just be careful with your words and make sure that you know who your audience is when you're speaking. And if you're not sure, then I would say to be a little bit more conservative if you can. If you want something to focus on to work with the energy of the moon in Aries, it would be fitness, health, anything with your wellness. If you need to make appointments for doctors or take care of any of your personal health needs, vitamins, supplements, any of that stuff would be really good to focus on. And also, it's a good time to take stock of what you have and what you need to do. It's great for getting lists completed, work done, projects completed. It has really good forward energy. So if you can do it like that, you'll probably be able to work positively within that energy. So we have also the sun in Aquarius, so we're kind of getting in through the final week of Aquarius season. You'll start to see that, that AI just really kind of coming into focus pretty clearly for the next week while it's with Pluto in Aquarius. You'll see more things being released or more people talking about things on platforms than usual. Hopefully that helps give you guys a little bit of a cosmic weather update for today.
hey, we getting mic up
Yeah,
here.
Okay.
yeah.
Appreciation. If you want, I can
So
get into the numbers and then we can dive into the Super Bowl and or unless you want me to do that after, it doesn't matter to
yeah,
me.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. I was just gonna ask. So, what time did the moon go into Aries? Was it like
Let's
overnight or? I'm just
let me see.
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, MJ, but you just gonna have to
Yeah, probably about between 3 and 4 o'clock this morning,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
All right. All right. Well, if you don't have any cards or anything like that, then I guess we will go either to the numbers
I
and then
do
we can get
not.
into.
I do
Okay.
not pull cards for today, just because I think what I would recommend is that for today and tomorrow, I would say the way I would word it is you should pull your own cards, because what it does is it harnesses your power back to you, and it puts you kind of back in the driver's seat. And I like to give people activities or challenges that help them
Well, you got a
reconnect with
maybe a
themselves.
website or someplace we could go where we could pull our
Yeah.
own cards?
Um,
Okay.
you can go to anything with Hay House. They have Hay House website has a bunch of card pulls you can do. You could go onto Colette Baron Reed's website. Or you could just search for digital card pulls on any sort of search engine that you use. If you follow any people that do cards, they always usually have them there. Um, so just even if you have a deck of playing cards and you don't have actual tarot cards or any kind of other cards, you can use a deck of playing cards, and there's uh, a directory online of what the card means in terms of a tarot spread. So,
Tarot. I always called it tarot.
mhm.
Tarot. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, guys, you definitely put a couple links down there in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys can go pull your cars. And Megawatt says,
will
get
do.
back in the driver's seat. Appreciate you. On the number side of things, just first off, I want to say thank you guys for
Also,
stepping
another
back in.
spot that people can go to is they can always go to our website, thinkhighcrew.com, and then go to
For
the
sure.
forum.
Yep.
And if you got any
Me-
questions to ask, you can put it
You
there
can
right
put them in there.
now.
Megawatt also has access to that. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. Well, yeah, today's mindset, mindfulness, motherfucking Moon's Day. Be back at it with the gods
Monday.
and goddesses you love to hate and hate them motherfucking love. Today's February the 12th, 2024, this Moon's Day. The vibration will be a number 4, a quattro. Some may ask, how the fuck you got that? To those who's been here, they know how I got it. Those who are new to this shit or the numerology, enealogy, and all the ologies, I just added that shit up. 2 plus 12 plus 2024 equals 2038. 2038. 2 plus 0 plus 3 plus 8 equals 13, and 1 plus 3 equals 4. So it's funny as hell that today is a 13 after, the release of 13 and the 49ers lost the Super Bowl. But we'll get into that here in a second. That's why we got my cousin MJ here. But the energy of today will be a 4. So today's focus will be on the future. 4 is the door. We call that shit the portal. Some meticulous creating energy to serve and to build or secure a foundation from which your future can expand on. Thus, today, details and procedures uh, will be of higher importance. So how you handle things and the route you take into getting it done. There's going to be a focus and a dedication that's going to permeate through the atmosphere. And it's going to be felt by everybody else around you too. So they're gonna you might get some phone calls like, yo, bro, I see you. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's a calendar day 12. So some people might look at it as a 1 and a 2 or calendar day for February 12th, but the global day will be a 4. Now we'll focus on that because I mean they kind of coincide. It's really not too much differences, but it might be different based on your numerology, genealogy, all of that good shit. So we'll stick with the global number because it's more of a broader aspect to everybody. Now, obviously, is your numerology takes precedent over the global or the calendar day, so you have to know yourself, in order to know what you need to do to take on this energy. But with the 4 being the energy of the day, it's a tactful and diplomatic number. It does bring with it hard work, dedication, along with reaching personal goals and long-term goals. 4 is unlikely to win any congeniality awards, and people, including myself, might come across as blunt or what's that word? Megawatt, was it brusque?
Brusque. It's just brusque.
I love fucking with you, though. I'm just saying. But every time I come across that word in life or in anything I'm doing, it's just gonna remind me of you. I'm gonna just say brusque. It just sounds
Oh
better.
my
But
gosh.
anyways,
Don't
make sure.
don't move to the southwest because you'll have a hard time out here. I'm telling you right
Ah!
now.
So make sure you consider your own words carefully. Carefully. Excuse me. I'm toking on that ganja. at the moment. And don't take someone else's lack of diplomacy too much at heart unless they've given you, other reasons to find them distasteful. So I mean, basically, don't put in, any of that negative energy that's basically they didn't have it coming to them. So this is the day as well for playing by the rules and following a well-worn path. So like don't get too far off your path, but you still want to make sure that you save a little time to do something that you want, because sometimes being on that path, it is a journey and it's hard work, and you want to chase down new tangent, or you want to bring out a new character of yourself. Try to control that. Try to control that, because you're unlikely to bring the results that you're looking for. So, for a nigga like me, a five, I would stick to something creative. In that set, in that aspect, I'll keep my eye on the prize. I'll keep my morals focused on what's right for me and what's wrong for me. I'll remember what's right for, I'll also remember what's right for other people like my wife and children, and what's wrong, what might be wrong for them as well. um but I also need to stay in my own lane. So it's good, I can look and I can see what's going on, but stay in my own fucking lane. And so to be able to do that, you're gonna have to know what your personal cycle number is, or your etiology, or your numerology, and where in the stars from which you were incarnated into. And then you factor that in first, and then you factor in the energy of today's four, the portal, and see how you need to act or treat the energy appropriately. Now, shit, with that being said, it's Mindset Mindfulness Monday, and we can jump right into this shit. Just get it cracking on the light side. I know obviously the Super Bowl was the main attraction over the weekend, and it was just yesterday. So we got my cousin MJ in the building. Everybody say what up to Mike.
I don't know if I can hear him, bro.
You there, Mike?
I never even saw him come up on the panel. So
It says he's on there, but he's muted.
yeah, I don't know. I don't see him, so I don't know what's going
I
on.
see him. I see him on my end.
Okay, well maybe unmute him or something, because I've
Well,
invited as a
he's
speaker,
unmuted.
but oh, I think you said he was muted. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it says say something, Mike. No,
I have
you
no
real
idea.
low.
Um, well, we can figure it out for sure. Meanwhile, while we figure it out, we will just figure out what we were talking about over the phone and about today was a fucking documentary on Netflix, bro. And this shit is called The Alien Prophet. It's called Rael, the Alien Prophet. And Rael is spelled Rael. And so I was watching it just because, obviously, of the title. But then you get into finding out that these people, it was a cult, but it evolved into raising money for human cloning. And they were directly involved with the baby Eve that was supposedly cloned and born in Israel. And there was a whole situation that Bill Clinton talked about when he was president, and then when George Bush Jr. was president, they made the real big move to make human cloning legal. I'm sorry, illegal in the United States of America. And when that happened,
Hello?
they had a court trial in
Hear me now?
Florida. And when they had the trial in Florida, they a lot of stuff came out in that trial. And so basically, what they came to the conclusion was, to make it short, was that since it didn't happen in the United States, they just weren't going to deal with it. And then there comes the George Bush Jr., the president of the United States, saying that cloning was going to be illegal in the United States. Um, but then you find out that there was cloning going on of other things other than human cloning before that. And then when you think about, we know more about the human body than we knew about all these other animals that we cloned.
There's
So
been
it raises the
there's
question
been
that,
cloning going on for over 100 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. The
right.
masses don't know about a lot of this shit though, and
Yeah, so
there's
it raises the
publications and
question,
shit. But
is there human cloning going on right now, or isn't there? And so and then why does the United States feel the need to make it illegal to do human cloning? Or why not? You know what I mean? If this is a free place to do whatever you would like, why can't you clone your kid if it died? Because originally that's what happened.
That's crazy.
So
That's
we
a
can
good
come
question.
back to that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mindful, topic or whatever you want to call it for today. But what's up, Mike? What you doing, bro? How you doing?
Hey,
What
can
you
y'all hear
doing?
me
How you
clearly?
doing?
Yep.
Okay,
I can
first of
hear you
all,
now.
there's a lot of names being thrown at me. There's Mike, there's MJ. When it comes to the whole radio podcast journalism thing, I go by Jackson.
Okay.
So
Got you,
first
Jackson.
off, Jackson Michael, and I'm a host of Generation Flex. I just want to thank THC for having me this morning. You guys been blowing up and killing it. So I feel like it's really cool to be able to say something, and I'm reaching so many people. So thank you for the platform. Thank you for the mic. What I wanted to ask you guys though was, did you want to talk on-field Super Bowl or off-field Super Bowl first?
Shit,
We
let's do
want
the
to talk
on.
about. We want to get your view. Yeah, we want to get your view because you
On-field.
you
Let's get some true
specialize in
stats. Get some true
Well, as far
stats
as
and
on,
yeah.
as
Let's
far as as far as on-field goes, going into this game, being a Steeler fan, I wasn't feeling either win for the teams, because the Niners, if they had won, they would have had 6 rings. They would have been tied with the Steelers. If the Chiefs win, now they're in that dynasty conversation. Mahomes is being called one of the greatest ever. Like, I didn't like either narratives before the game, but then I
I feel
watched
you.
the game. I watched the game, and then after the game, the narrative changes. Now I feel like it's okay to put them in that conversation because they did back to back it. It's number 3. It's like they are probably going to surpass Brady and the Patriots. I'm not loving it, but I'm respecting it. They are testing my journalism. I'm not going to speak in front. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's real easy to want to hate this team and everything going on around them. But I watched last night. They're resilient. Mahomes isn't. I would love to have him as a Steeler quarterback. That guy makes things happen. Pacheco is still ruining it for running backs. He's still showing teams that you can get a guy in the 7th round.
Yep.
You can get a guy in the 7th round from Rutgers, and he can destroy you when it matters most in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl in particular. First downs
Yeah, that's
galore.
been a big topic
Right.
in
I
the
appreciate.
NFL
I
right
know you're
now.
going to talk kickers. So, but I know you're going to talk kickers. But if not, let's make
I
sure we
mean,
talk kickers too. Because them
it's
kickers
cool.
they were a big part of that one.
It was interesting to know that in all the Super Bowls, there was only 50-yard field goals 7 times
Right.
kicked, and last night was 3 of them. That's
Right.
very interesting. And I found it more so interesting that they seemed to be cooler they were more accurate when they were kicking from damn near midfield as opposed to when it was a 27-yard kick. That was trying to hook. So
I felt that
I
way
don't know.
also.
I don't know if it's an athlete's mindset. I don't know if it's the big stage, but for whatever reason, the adrenaline was going from midfield, but it was kind of business as usual from 27.
Yeah.
So I appreciate those numbers there. I want to talk Kelsey. A lot of people are giving him static this morning for getting up on Andy Reid's face, talking about you can't do that to your boss. First of all, he's in the NFL. It's not a regular job. I mean, they're tackling each other at full speed and they're grown men. So you can't compare you being a telemarketer running up on your boss to Travis Kelsey being a 6'5", 240 tight end running up on Andy Reid. I appreciated the passion. I appreciated the fact.
At least he didn't choke him like Latrell Sprewell
No,
did back in
but
the
I
day.
appreciated the fact he knew he wasn't getting the ball and he knew who he had to talk to start getting the ball. I appreciated that. Taylor Swift, man, I'm sorry. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing the
About to be a
genuine.
Swiftie.
Well, I'm not a Swiftie, but from the football perspective, people give her a hard time. You got to look at it this way. My favorite thing about seeing her shown on broadcast is she's the most genuine fan in the house. It's new to her. We grew up on this. There's things she's amazed by that we take for granted, business as usual. So I appreciate her enthusiasm because it's genuine. She's like
like a
really
real
excited
kid
when he
watching
catches.
it. Yeah.
Right. It's like every catch he makes, every touchdown, it's Christmas morning for her. I appreciate that. She's super excited to be there. She loves her man. When it was over, the kisses looked genuine. You can tell they really not so much are in love, lovey-dovey, but they like each other. I can tell there's a genuine friendship there. They seem to be a good fit. He's like that aggressive type, and she seems to be kind of like low-key, just the damsel in distress. It kind of works from like a perspective. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But I was happy to see her drinking, pounding the shots. By halftime, she looked like she was about 8 in. I just like the chance we got to see the human side of her, letting loose, partying, enjoying her boyfriend. And how many girlfriends, really? How many times can you sign up for the NFL, join a team, and you guys win it that first year? She's the luckiest NFL fan of all time. Think
No,
about it.
no, no. I get you.
She doesn't know what it feels like to not make the playoffs. She doesn't know what it feels like to have a losing season. She doesn't know what it feels like to not win the bowl. Everything is going to be downhill from here for her in the NFL, and she'll learn quick how to adapt. But it
Yeah.
was just cool.
Let me
Go
ask
ahead.
you this real quick. How many years do you think Kelsey's got left?
2, 3.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen is he's
You
going
think
to
he's going to
engage.
spend it out at the Chiefs?
Yeah. Well, here's what's more than likely going to happen. He's going to get engaged probably between now and a year from now. And then the money's going to be stupid. And she'll tell him, you don't need to be in the NFL because I got enough money to take care of all of us so you can protect your knees and brain. And he'll be like, yeah, you got a point. So it won't be about the
So
money
I
with
got a
him.
question. I got a question for you as well, MJ, because I know you personally. You know what I mean? I know you
Right.
as an artist. I know you
Right.
professionally. And then now here we are speaking about, you know, some shit that everybody in the world is hinting at could be fixed and shit now. Now, do you think as a sports broadcaster, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we could get both answers from you. You know what I'm saying? And then I got another question for you after you answer this one. But do you think that it's a possibility that, you know, it's all for, you know, Hunger Games, it's all the show, you know what I mean, the arranged kind of like a relationship? Or do you think that, you mean, because Taylor
I have a
Swift literally
question.
has enough pull to sway an election. Like 18% of
You're
all
right.
voters
You're absolutely right.
are fucking fans of Taylor Swift. So, you know, this is my question, just as somebody who, like, this is what you do. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to shit on what you do, you know, or say that like it's fake or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm just going off of the narrative, what's going on, what's in the media, what people are saying. So it's like, with all of that being said about Taylor and Kels in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna call him Kels because that's what it's supposed to be pronounced as. It's not even Kelsey, but you know what I'm saying. But
Right.
uh,
Well,
do you
could a
think that it's
broadcaster have any other opinion than what he said he has? I mean, is
yeah,
that even possible?
yeah? Why
That's
not?
these are ultimately awesome questions, first of all, from both of you.
Yeah,
And I'll answer as honestly as I think is appropriate. First of all, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and to really enjoy this thing and to get involved, it's almost like a relationship where you know your girl is messing around, but you don't have a name or a face, and she looks so good, and you guys
So
are gonna
it's
get on
not
so.
real. Yep.
Yeah, of course not. Here, I'm not gonna. I'll put it this way: where the money's involved, where the lines and numbers are involved, the money is thick. But when guys are just running back to the huddle and they pop their Achilles, that's
mm-hmm.
not part of the script.
Hell
Dudes
yeah,
aren't signing off. Nick Chubb didn't sign off
right.
No.
to get his knee shredded, okay?
No,
So
your body is going to be the cost of the prize.
there's no
It's
reason for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets to lose a ton of money for him to wreck his Achilles the same style 4 plays into the season. Like, there's certain things that make absolutely zero sense from a financial standpoint. So we know that's the injuries are real. Now, when it comes to the referees, that's one thing I wanted to mention. I was glad to see the last night. The game wasn't determined by a
Agreed.
controversial call, stupid coaching. I like how the refs stayed out of it and let them kind of just go at it. So if there was a certain thing that had, like, first of all, I believe if there's a script, it was supposed to be for the Chiefs to win it. Absolutely. Taylor Swift, she brought $338 million just by being a presence to the Chiefs in the
For
NFL.
sure.
Just her being there. Just her being there, even if she wore a blindfold and took a nap the whole time. Her being at the game generated money, $500,000 for the NFL and the
Right.
Chiefs. So don't think they're excited about, hey man, we got Taylor Swift attached to the Super Bowl champion. This is awesome. So you can expect more, probably a three-peat from the Chiefs from the NFL standpoint. They would love for them to go
You're
back to the
saying
Super
that's
Bowl
like the
again.
most financial,
For the financial
yeah.
perspective, yes. Now, from just parity and fanship, you can say they don't care, but they like their numbers. So it's going to be interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to, it's not just going to be sealed, signed, delivered, Chiefs are
And I
back.
respect
It
those
won't feel
answers,
like the
though,
Patriots.
because you know what I'll keep it real. I respect those answers for the simple fact that I used to be a huge fan of wrestling, even after I found out it was fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just entertainment. You know what I mean? Like the storyline, like shit. I'm a huge fan of anime, and most of that shit is either based off of mythical shit or some shit that maybe
Well, let me
per
tell
se
you.
But
might not
I think that
existed.
we do need to. I think we need to be kind of clear though with like these are still incredible fucking
Yes, facts
athletes,
for sure.
and
Right.
they
Well,
can
that's
still do everything that they're doing on the field,
right.
regardless if there's money behind it or not. And so
But
when
here's the
we
deal.
some
If
people
I
take
let
that
you,
as, oh, these people just don't even really play football. They're just out
Right.
there
Yeah.
just playing
No, it's not
a
like
bunch
that.
of
but
bullshit.
no, here's the deal. If you're an offensive lineman and you're on the team that we need to win, and I'm an official, they've instructed me to kind of let you get away with some shit all day. Like, I'm only going to call holding on you once every 6 times you do it. I know you're doing it every play, but I'm going to call it only every now and then. Now, the guy you're guarding, I'm going to call him every time he does something to you, okay? I've already given you
And every time I walk past him, I'm gonna let him know I got my
right,
eye on you the whole
right.
game. You know what I mean?
So
That type of shit too. Yeah,
I'm giving you the advantage without even doing anything other than quote unquote my job.
Right.
exactly.
It doesn't,
There's a
like, the
lot of
fans
ways
can't
for
see what's
things.
going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways for things to be fixed than
Manipulated.
for
Yeah.
because some people hear that and I'm just trying to clarify for the
Yeah,
show in
for
general.
sure.
But like some people hear that and they're like, oh, so yeah, I agree, man. This whole shit's fixed. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
it's always been like
Yeah.
this.
Let me
Money
tell you,
does this stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
a lot of people aren't aware of this, but back in the 60s when the Celtics won 11 in a row, there wasn't even a draft. It was about who had the deepest pockets, who could get the players. And the Celtics were able to get everybody because the Irish Mafia was like funding the Boston Celtics for a period in the 60s. And nobody talks about it because it's
Right.
so like scandalous.
Yeah.
But that's how the Boston Celtics were
Well, this
able
you
to
in the
He's so
right
rise.
place to bring some.
scandalous.
Yeah, this is the right place to bring some shit like that up. And it makes we've talked about this in person. You know what I mean? I was like, I would love for you to come on the show and say that publicly so everybody can understand. Like,
Here's the problem. People, it's like finding out Santa Claus is fake.
yeah,
You're
it is.
ruining grown men. You're it's like finding out certain things don't exist and your whole life you felt they
Right.
did. A part of you won't let you grow up and move on. So I got to catch myself even. I got to remember, as deep as a Steelers fan I am, you keep your money out of it
Right.
and you keep your livelihood out of it.
Right.
It's just it's like a video game for
Yes.
real. You play the Xbox in the basement, you watch the game on the screen. So I keep in
But
mind
also,
this.
it was held in Las Vegas, the
True.
home of the
True.
mafia, the home
Um,
of one of the biggest mafia
let me tell you,
organizations.
sis. Let me tell you, they put a whole NFL team in Las Vegas,
Yes, they
and
did.
since then, it was nothing but racism, misogyny,
Yes.
a fiery crash of a drunk driver. Like, it hasn't been the best experiment yet.
No, it's not.
The
And it's
Super
not
Bowl is a
going
way
to
to
be.
clean things up,
Yeah.
you know. And Goodell said last night, this ain't the
Woo.
first time you're gonna
Bro,
get.
you doing some
We
real
got more
reporting
Super
right
Bowls in
now. Go
Vegas.
ahead, keep going.
I'm just saying we got more Super Bowls in Vegas. Eventually, they're gonna want the Vegas Raiders to be good. They're gonna want them to be in the mix of things. There's a ton of, and think about it.
Pay for play.
How stupid does a fan, maybe that's the wrong word, that's harsh, but why would you get involved with Las Vegas, sports gambling, Super Bowl in Vegas? Why would you put a nickel toward any of that? It all sounds like a circus of a sham. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Like, you're not going to win that. You're going against the city. You're going against the NFL. You're going against too many entities that are
You're going against
banking on
a
news.
lady who has enough influence to sway a fucking election, a public election. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't think like people really don't understand
And it's not
like
just
the
her.
power
You're going against everybody that's on the
Well,
inside putting their money in that knows
that.
what's going
Yep.
on too. Because there's an
you know what
inside
the
that
alternative is? The alternative is the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, and now you get to see Taylor Swift in tears and all miserable and drunk. She would have been drunk and miserable. So it was important the Chiefs win last night. People don't think about any of these things. And Taylor Swift being able to sway an election, you better believe the Chiefs were supposed to win last
Yeah.
night. And that's how you should have bet your money if you were a
Right.
better.
Right. I know a lot of people
Well,
who
that's
did
the
it.
it's the it's the call I
Well,
made
I made the
for
wrong
sure.
call
I
because
wanted the Niners to win, but I knew the Chiefs were going
well,
to
see,
win.
and that's my love for the Niners because when that's watching the Niners is what got me into football at like 10 years old. Like the first time I watched a football game, the 49ers played, Jerry Rice fell in love with him and Deion Sanders immediately. Was like, all right, bet, I'm playing football. I just knew I was going to play. And but so I've always had love for the 49ers. And it was just me being I was like, oh, I seen a whole bunch of conspiracy theorists talk shit. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll hop on the fucking 13 bandwagon and go with the numbers. You know what I mean? And they almost motherfucking, pulled it off. You know what I mean? And it didn't look like it was too rigged with some shit. You know what I mean? You could tell that some players, even if like only I think only a certain percentage of the players know was like have the script. Like if players like Tom Brady might have the script. You know what I mean? But
hey,
I don't think like everybody would have access to that type of shit. And you could tell that because some people were playing just a little bit harder than others. You know what I mean? But
bro, look, I remember seeing this like I'm still watching it, right? Last night, I remember Kelsey wasn't getting hardly anything. He wasn't getting nothing going on. You already mentioned that. But so I remember it was number 54 on the 49ers, right? And it was in a run. I mean, a linebacker. Sorry, I don't know if it was middle linebacker or what. But it was a linebacker, and I saw Kelsey not even do a real fake, bro, off the line of scrimmage. And the guy 54, either he just had a weird moment, or he let him make people believe that he faked him out. And he
I know what
really
you're
didn't even
saying.
do
I
that
know
much.
what
And
you're
he went
saying.
to the left. And it was like, so 54, if you get the middle linebacker in on it, bro, you got the whole defense
and
damn near. You feel what I'm
well,
saying?
54
So
is
it does
Fred.
not take that much
The
to infiltrate
Yeah, but the
and
problem with
to make
that,
things happen.
the problem with that, Nove, is that 54 is supposed to be an all pro linebacker. You feel me?
That's
That's
what I'm
Fred
saying.
fucking Warner. You know
I
what I
just
mean?
don't
You're
know if
right.
he's middle linebacker or what, but I
He
know
is.
he's like,
He's like, yeah,
one of
he's
the
the captain of that defense too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
right.
you're right. You're right.
Well,
So,
you also got to look at the difference between college football and the NFL,
oh yeah,
and
there's a huge difference
you'll get some good answers, just doing that.
for sure. So, MJ, another question then for you. So, with
Yeah.
all of that, knowing you're doing your sports casting thing. You now, what's the name of your show again? Let everybody know.
Generation Flex.
Generation Flex. Shout out to Generation Flex. I appreciate you coming on, but I got a question that I ask all my guests that come on today. And so, I know you do music, you do a lot of things, you know what I mean? When it comes to all of this shit, I want to know what's your why? Like, why are you knowing what you know and being who you are? You know what I'm saying? Why are you
And
doing
why the
what you're
name
doing?
Generation Flex too?
Yeah. And why the name Generation Flex?
Those are really good questions. As far as the name of the show, Generation Flex, my co-host, he's 45 and I'm 49. I'll be 50 in November. And I was going to broadcast school last year, and I was a part of a podcast called Come On Ref. And me and Chad were a part of that also. But there were other people in the class that were like much younger. They were like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year olds, pretty much kids. When we were putting the show together and trying to have conversations about certain things going on in the sports world, outside of the sports world, there was a lot of resistance from the younger generation. And it became a list. Every week, there'd be things we wanted to talk about, me and Chad, and the rest of the younger kids kind of didn't. And we didn't understand, like, we were like, whatever. So eventually, we had this long list of topics. And we're like, man, we need our own show. Everything they reject, that's where we have our show and we can put out. So we felt like it's Generation Z issues, new millennial issues from a Generation X perspective, because we think differently than the young people. And a lot of people don't understand we're not our parents or grandparents. We're not getting old. We're getting wiser and we're getting better. If only our parents and grandparents had cell phones and things like Google and technology.
Yeah. No,
So
for sure.
Generation Flex is a play on Generation X. And the
Okay.
flex is reflexible. We're talking sports. We're talking music. We're talking movies. We're talking
Right.
media. We're bringing THC in to be
Just
controversial.
that whole
Bring,
vibe of the
Yeah, we'd
generation
love to come on
but,
your
but,
show
but
colliding,
too.
basically.
beyond that, we want to touch on social issues, mental health
Right.
awareness. We want to have different people come in and give their views. We're not looking to be agreed with all the time. We appreciate the static and feedback. We need to know these things.
Right.
Now, as far as my why, it's kind of tied
Yeah.
into that. It's
I'm
about
sure it is.
it's about changing the narrative for people my age and my generation. A lot of them are scared to have birthdays at 40. I'm just kind of trying to show it's okay to get older and still be in touch and have your
Yeah,
finger
it's cool to get old.
on the pulse.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
even know about what
I'm
this
doing my
getting
music.
old shit
I'm
means, though.
dropping.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it's like the younger generation, they do one of two things. They duck their birthdays. They talk about how old they feel before 30. Meanwhile, they always try to make fun of somebody who's 40 and up about the way they
Yeah.
think, the way they
yeah.
talk, the way they dress. So my thing is, it's
Hey,
a
Jack,
lost generation.
check it out,
Uh,
bro. It's
yeah.
1:11. I want to say that, and I wanted to say to Susan B, thanks for the coffee. I think she just bought everybody a coffee in here, so that's what's up. With the
Yeah, she
beans,
sent us a
11-11.
coffee
beans
bean.
and trade that
Yeah,
in for real
appreciate it.
monies. Appreciate that. I ain't mean to
Yeah, didn't
interrupt
mean
you
to.
by that, Jackson.
No,
Yeah, just
it was 11-11. It's understood. But all I'm saying is I'm being the anomaly. People aren't supposed to start rap careers and start podcasts and finish school at 50 years old. People aren't supposed to feel like here's my chance of a second win. I'm doing this for my peer group. I'm doing this for all the people that they're worn out. They're tired. They feel old. They feel left behind. They feel lost. Then I show
right.
up and say, no, we still matter. And here's different ways you can find out we matter. Here's my music links. Check my
Right.
songs out. Here's
Right.
my podcast. Join the show. Follow. Call in. We'll put you on. Comment. Like, I'm creating a space for people like me that we're kind of lost in the sauce, man. We're not our parents and grandparents. And I
That's what's up.
refuse to kind of just get fat, get old, and just say what I used to do. I don't even
I
talk about
feel
what I'm
you.
about to do. My new thing is just to show up like, here it is.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
that's
Nah,
pretty much my why, man.
that's
I'm
what's
just
up,
the
Jackson.
anomaly creating a new space.
Yeah.
That's what's
No,
up.
we that's
This
just
didn't
kind of how
exist
we
when I
did it.
was younger. There
Yeah.
was nobody 50 when I was 30 saying how cool it was to be 50. Our
Yeah.
parents,
You're right.
because it was our parents who was 50 and they looked ridiculous to us. So
Right.
I'm just changing the narrative, fitting the times, man.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
that
hey,
sounds like a
can
good
you
lane
got
to be
you got a
putting
few
your own
minutes
lane.
to hang out with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we
Okay.
could definitely, use your opinion
Everything,
on some shit. Yeah.
yeah, and everything that was just being talked about. This is the song for it, bro. You know what I
Hey, we set
mean?
the room with some
We
music.
was
It's
talking about
Mindset
betting,
Mindfulness Monday. Yep.
I
Go
like
ahead.
that.
I'm
about betting.
I like
Yeah.
that. He just brought the beats in. I like that.
We gonna get into
Yeah.
some cloning
Yeah.
shit next.
This is the way that
Yeah.
the chips fall. I hope you was betting on me. I've been all in since the windfall. Watching the L coming streets.
Okay.
Never gave up on the old me. Been rapping so long, now I'm OG. Supreme of the valley, that's word of the adage. Just at me if you want the whole thing. And it's on me. I don't like the cap. I don't ever rap what I don't live. Keep the hood on tap. And it's a fact. We're only a fraction of my wrist. See, I'm built like that. I don't want it all. I just wanna ball with my bros. Give it all to the kids when we go. And let them know that your favorite rapper is alive. Yeah. Fuck what they talking, been telling you why. Yeah, you thought they was real? Open your eye. Yeah, this shit's not a game, we tryna survive. In a world where music is God, your favorite rapper is a lie. Yeah, fuck what they talking, been telling you why. Yeah, you thought they was real? Open your eye. Yeah, this shit's not a game, we tryna survive. In a world where music is God, your favorite favorite rapper is alive.
Yeah, might see me walking down Erie at midnight. We ain't the same on the inside. Black sheep, nigga still ball like he's 6'5". Still put your bitch in the 6'9". I was on ice, pushing that weight up an incline. Nigga had life, all in the back of that Nissan. Fuck is you talking about? We made a way when Wall Street had us on decline. You niggas is bright till I pop out like a neon. You niggas is hot till I show up with the Freon. We on a whole nother plane. All of my foes is going insane. You know what it is, it's fucking supreme. Yeah.
You got a rap voice. Brandon got a rap voice, brother.
Bro, don't he?
Brandon was born with the rap voice before he even started rapping.
Right? Some people are just like that.
He was talking with a rap voice and didn't know it.
That nigga came out, he was crying with a rap voice, nigga.
Right. His voice is so dope. His voice is so
and
fucking
you know what's
dope.
so crazy? Like even Logos is like, man, he's like his voice is so sharp. He's like
it's like an instrument.
Yeah, he's like, it's hard to mix it sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it's like, he said it's like, it's so, he's like, I don't know how to explain it. He's like, when you're listening to it, it's so sharp. You know what I mean? But like, that's because that nigga larynx is busted open. And anything he fucking say just be fucking.
Put a million in the mattress cause they sleeping on me. Shit, a
Speaking
nigga live
of,
his life like the
we're
Reaper
gonna hear
on
it
me.
one more time.
Put a million in the mattress cause they sleeping on me. Shit, a nigga live his life like the Reaper on me.
Monday, we're gonna get into the mindfulness of this thing.
Turning dirty money to the cleanest European. So I put a million in the mattress cause they sleeping on me. Shit, a nigga live his life like the Reaper on me. If you know the hustle, then you recognize the secret when you see it. Money so dirty, we eating off the ceiling.
Yeah.
I test the wind with my cigarette. How many O's can a nigga get? How many hoes can a nigga wet? I'm in too deep, like God, it ain't no turning back. 550 for the half, nigga. Yeah, 1050 for the whole thing. All I know is 10 P's to change a nigga life when he playing with the dope game. I'm rolling dice with the bones of the deceased. The master of my world, I control it in my sleep. Lucidity, it's like a fucking dream inside a dream. This is all organic, no machine. Organic even when I grow my weed. This is for them nights we ain't sleep. This is for them nights we ain't eat. This $1 trillion grip to the teeth. I leave these hoes soaking in they seat.
Put a million in the mattress cause they sleeping on me. Shit, a nigga live his life like the Reaper on me. If you know the hustle, then you recognize the secret when you see it. Turning dirty money to the cleanest European. So I put a million in the mattress cause they sleeping on me. Shit, a nigga live his life like the Reaper on me. If you know the hustle, then you recognize the secret when you see it. Money so dirty, we eating off the ceiling. Keep the backing out your vision, watch it pile up. Plant some seeds, watch them grow, chop the trees down. Bag pounds, move bags, moolah coming ASAP. So 2V, SHT, put your pride aside. Mindset real aggressive, actions even more vindictive. Ran the streets like grandpops ran numbers. Tax-free dollars, gotta keep it coming, ain't no question. Remember nights, the stove kept the crib heated up. No hot water, we boiled water, filled the sink up. They like me out the way, sending kites to the crib. Give them conversations, watch me separate the difference. I know some niggas moving grass like lawn service. Trying to run these numbers up till the end of time. Man on fire, Denzel, bring the vengeance with me. Wrecking crew, juice, we all bishop, keep the steel with us.
Yeah, man. So them boys going in.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, listen, man. I just want to know one thing.
What up?
I just want to know one thing, man. Actually, it's a two-headed question. First of all, how do you really convince people that you're rapping when none of your bars are rhyming, but it's working? It's like you are rapping.
Right.
I'm listening to every verse. It all sounds like rap, but none of it's rhyming ever.
Bro,
Now,
listen,
my second question is, does that count? Is he cheating?
Nah.
It sounds like he's spitting. It sounds like it takes the same effort to write one verse
Think about
that
it.
it does.
Think about it though, because what's rap? Rhythm and poetry, my nigga. It has to be poetic. So if it's poetic,
As long as
it
you
can
fit
be
that
rap.
thing in that beat the right way.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Bro, you don't
Man.
gotta rhyme. Poems
Do y'all
don't
remember
always
Prodigy?
rhyme. Haikus
Y'all remember
don't
Prodigy?
fucking rhyme. Yeah.
Prodigy from Mobb Deep didn't always
Yeah,
rhyme.
we was
Bro,
about
we
to
was
do a
finna
cut with
collab.
Prodigy, bro.
We was finna do a collab with
I don't
Prodigy
think
before he
we was
died. I
deep
still
in
got
this
the
conscious
email.
music shit, bro.
Yeah, Prodigy knew what time. His last album, have y'all heard that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why he ain't here anymore.
Yeah, we
I know.
bro.
And there was a
Yeah.
4-part to it. There was 3 more
Yep.
parts to it, and one of the parts was a play. And
I
we were
didn't know
gonna be
that.
involved, bro. I got
I
an
didn't know
email
that.
from Prodigy before he died saying
Yeah, we
he was
saved the
feeling
email.
sick,
Yep.
but he
That's
and he
crazy.
was gonna record the verse, but he didn't feel that good, and then bam,
That's
he was out of
crazy.
here. Oh, it's
Oh my
fucking real
God.
crazy.
They're fucking serious, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's
Dead
crazy.
fucking lie.
When I hit
Are
Jason,
y'all
I was
serious for real?
I
I'm
promise you,
dead
bro.
ass, bro. I'm dead
I just don't.
ass,
We just
dude.
don't talk about it, nigga. Like I don't go around talking about that shit because it's like, what is it? You know, does this sound like some
He had a
competition?
he had a
shit, you know what I
4-part
mean?
project, and one was music, one was a like a kind of like a short series or mini series, something like that. Another was a book, and then the last one was a play. And when he got, if all of it would have been released, it would have been Kanye West on steroids times
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
plus a million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't gonna be so boastful. It was gonna tell that shit in a goddamn way that you just can't even
You can't deny
can't
it.
suppress it even from coming out. Because then you're gonna
Right.
look like the bad guy.
And he was worse than Tupac because he was moving solo. He wasn't even rolled up with a bunch of people.
And what he say, he had troubles getting people to try to work on it because
Yup.
he
yeah.
was scared something was gonna happen to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
Exactly.
Like I remember
He was the one man show on that one.
Yup. So like,
He was making the beats too.
yeah, because he was like, people ain't gonna want to fuck with me, you know, and he knew it. So it was like,
It's gonna be hard to find an ad agency to get behind that one.
oh, it always is, but that's
Yeah.
why we do this. You see what I'm saying, though? See, that's just part of our why. We trying to bring that where here's a platform where you can be unapologetically yourself and nobody's gonna judge you for it. You know what I mean? At all. You know what I'm saying? So like, and we can talk about it and we can, you know, converse about it. Just like today's topic is about this dude named Rael. I'm sure you have Netflix, and today's topic is about some shit that we wanted to make people mindful or aware of, because it seems like it's a fairy tale type shit. You know what I mean? And there's a
Yep.
whole fucking bunch of shit that goes around with it. So Nova was speaking before we, you know, got into our introduction of the Super Bowl. I love that intro, by the way. I appreciate you, MJ, for coming to do that. And we want you to stay for as long as you want to stay and talk about this shit with us. But the question that arises is, let me ask you this personally, do you think cloning is possible or
It's
real, or is it
it's
just some
definitely possible because if you watched any of those trash ass Super Bowl commercials, I know you saw Judge Judy looking a little different under the collar.
Yeah.
And there was another commercial, somebody else looked a little different under the collar. And somebody in the room said, "Oh, that must be their clone." And we all
Yeah.
kind of snickered and laughed, but then it became a conversation. And I just made this statement. You got to understand the way humans even came about. And this is just opinion because I was in a room with all types of people. I don't know their religious backgrounds or their views.
You talking
So
about
I'm
at the
trying,
Super Bowl party?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying to be honest and I'm trying to not offend. And that's a very slippery thing in
Bro,
2024.
you could be yourself here. It's okay.
Oh, I know.
mean, okay,
Here's
yeah.
cool.
Right.
But at the Super Bowl party in Green, when it's just me and my Mexican girlfriend, it's a little different. You know what I mean? So I'm in a room full of white people. Like the Jesus commercial comes on. I had views on that, but I kept
Oh
them to
shit.
myself. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry, man. I'm just picturing this because people don't know
yeah,
what green is. Let me give it to y'all. Okay, so you got a mixed dude and a Mexican girl in like an all white party scenario. So
right.
it's just I'm just laughing at that whole shit. I'm sorry, I pictured it in my head. My bad. Go.
So I get to explaining that the way humans even came about, cloning and splicing has been a thing. And like I said, I didn't want to stomp out anybody's Adam and Eve theory, but I just had to let it be known that we were generated, we were engineered. So cloning isn't something new, it's just kind of being new to
Right.
us. It's been around since before humans.
Right. Right.
They've been cloning
Well,
animals, food.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you think about it, it's not too far off from
Facts.
IVF. You know what I mean? It's really
Yeah.
not.
And
I
then
mean,
once stem cell, if you understand what stem cell research is,
right.
they're just using different terminology. But if you know what that means, obviously cloning is a thing.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you are no longer under a rock, and like you said, if if our grandparents had this technology like these phones, like you can see like there's been recent, we've recently literally cloned a whole human embryo, and it's a little girl. Her name is Eve. Nova was speaking about her before, and obviously there was thought. People thought she was in Florida. There was a whole bunch of shit going on about that, where it's like, because cloning is illegal in the
And
United
not
States.
just like internet stuff, like actual trials taking place,
Yes. Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
actual presidents, talking about it, like in the Senate, not just like some random bullshit. So
Well,
it kind of makes you
Yes.
think about, what's really going on. But hey,
we've
before we get
seen
all the way into it, I just want to say for anybody listening, thinkhighcrew.com is the website you can go to and check out our forum. There's a post in there specifically about this. So if you're interested in this type of stuff, you can join in on that. Anyway,
the
Yes,
weirdest
sir.
the weirdest thing is when it comes to cloning, we've heard about Eminem, we've heard about Kanye, we've heard about Dave
Right.
Chappelle.
Right.
One thing that's always asked of me is, well, why would somebody want to clone Eminem? And I always got to let them know, because something like Eminem, anytime it's active, it's going to generate money. So if
I
Eminem's
was about
dead,
to say, like, you got
if
like,
Eminem's dead, you want to keep that money flow. So you're going to create a new Eminem, and you're going to
Well, I
let that
mean,
thing be the thing.
but if you knew who his lineage was,
People, yeah, his
then
people are.
then
He's an
that would
important
make
rapper.
then that would make more sense on why they would clone
Pick
somebody
him.
like him. Yeah, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly. He's an
His
important specimen.
Yep, his grandfather was like one of the first language programmers type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
and I'm not
so
saying
if
that
like
he
your
did.
grandfather, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, no.
I'm not saying he did die, but y'all, he did overdose a bunch of
And he
times.
looks mad different, and he acts different,
Yeah.
and he's sober, and he's never has a slip up. He never has a.
And let me ask y'all
I'm
this:
just saying.
have you, other than Mariah Carey, that rumor type thing, right? Have you ever heard of
Right.
him dating anyone?
Nobody.
No.
That
Fucking
dude is
weird,
gayer
bro.
than KRS-One. KRS-One,
Fucking weird.
KRS-One's supposed to be
But
married, and nobody knows
but
what his
think
wife
about
looks
this
like.
though. But think about this. Even if
Ain't
Eminem's
nobody really
gay,
seen Kim.
we ain't never even seen no pictures of him with a gay guy or nothing like that. No
Right.
kind of
Exactly.
remote
Right.
It's like he
romantic
doesn't need
interest
a
at all.
relationship.
That's
Which is
He
the same
doesn't.
crazy,
thing
You're
with
bro.
right. That's weird.
well, it's the
That's
same thing
weird.
with fucking what's this
That's
Lil
fucking
Nas
super
X? Like
fucking
Lil Nas
weird,
X
bro.
supposed to be gay, and you don't see that motherfucker with doing no gay shit in public.
Right. But he's supposed to be like the gay captain.
Right, but he does
Right.
weird shit like act pregnant and dress in
Weird,
like, he
but
does weird shit.
weird and homosexuals not the same.
You
Some
absolutely
people
right.
could
That's what
say
I mean.
homosexuality is weird, but that's not the same.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But you don't see him do no gay shit. He danced on
Right.
himself. Do you understand? He was the devil and himself. Like they did a little fucking like CGI shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like it wasn't like he was even grinding on like he might not
Somebody
even been a
else.
real person, right? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like it's just fucking weird how people don't really see that he's not really doing gay shit. He's just doing weird shit. You know what I'm
And
saying?
here's
And
another
that
thing you got
it's
to
possible
remember.
that he's probably not even fucking gay, especially if you know what I'm saying. Like if this is what's been going on, right? If all right, even there's this guy named George Green, right? I want y'all to look him up. George Green, Greene. He's got a lot of videos out. You can watch a movie that was made years ago called I think it's called The Lost Boys. And
It's one of my
it's a
favorite
it's
movies.
for
Yeah.
real. You like
That's
that movie?
about it.
Yeah,
That
Kiefer
movie was
Crazy.
Sutherland's a
fire.
vampire.
Great.
That movie's
What
fire.
time?
Fucking wild,
Okay.
right? You know what I mean? So like they talk about they've been programming this type of shit. You know what I mean? And George Green talks about they've been cloning since the 30s. You know what I mean? But I mean I think it could have been before then because we don't even really know what's really going on. But
Well,
like you were
what about
saying,
this too,
go ahead.
Jason? Just
Yeah,
because somebody, all right, so in that documentary that we're going to get into, we're going to talk about, they say the term babies, all right? They say
right,
that they've been cloning babies, but there was only one born successful. So
right. And
just
that
so
was Eve,
the
right?
cloning since the 30s, that doesn't necessarily mean like they mastered it and they was able to do it. It kind of
Right,
means the science on it and all the
right,
The
the getting in the
experimenting.
lab, the experimenting on it in the lab and stuff like that.
Well, I
maybe
remember
kicked
as a
off in the
child,
30s.
right? I don't know if anybody remember. I mean, I'm 30, about to be 37 in March, so y'all might remember this as well. Um, when they cloned the first sheep and it
Yep,
actually
yep,
worked, you know what I mean? And they were like,
yep.
"We
Yeah.
finally, we finally
Well,
cloned the first sheep and shit like that."
that's why I say, like, okay, so if it took 274 times to clone a sheep
Mhm.
successfully,
Dolly, I'm sorry, Susan said the
wouldn't
name
it
Dolly.
wouldn't
She
it
remembered the name.
wouldn't it be a shorter time if they're doing humans? Because we know so much more about humans than we do about fucking
Yeah,
sheep.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, like we
Here's
don't
another
really
thing to consider.
how much do we study on sheep compared to humans?
right.
You feel me?
True.
Nova,
Yeah.
I got a question for you. You fuck with
What's up?
Star Wars, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so wouldn't it make more sense if they just use cloning to create armies like they
Yeah.
did stormtroopers instead of
Right,
sending
bro.
actual people?
Or what about this? What about if that's what's at the southern border?
Clones coming through, bro.
Clone
That shit is
army, a
wild.
bunch of clones.
What?
That'd be a great movie.
Clone army coming through the southern border.
Why
Oh
they
my
so
god.
poor though? Why they so broke? Why is this clone army so in need?
Well, they getting
I
paid when
know.
that's why they get paid when they cross the border though. And
uh,
it's crazy because
no,
they've been finding like groups of Chinese people coming through. Like, how the hell you get here? You know what I mean? So it is
yeah, no,
possible, bro. I
that's really just for like the banter of it. That's
don't
some ESPN gem right there.
There we go.
Um, But yeah, no, but yeah, the cloning of the armies and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and then when you talk about army, does it have to be like militant
They could
army?
clone some
Or could it
doctors.
be, or
Yeah.
or could it be like somebody that's going to work another industry other than, militant industry?
You
Right.
Because
could
that's
clone
really what
factory
we're in.
workers.
Or see, in
Yeah,
this
man.
super soldiers, Susan says, I mean, you could clone really anything that you wanted to. I'm gonna tell you what I think the focus is. I think what these clones are gonna be used for is going to be for these old motherfuckers, these baby boomers who don't want to let go of their authority and power.
In
So
wealth
they've
and
already
all,
created
yeah.
a chip, right? So they already created a chip that you can embed in your head type shit, that Neuralink, right? But what they haven't told you is that Neuralink is probably going to have the capacity to hold a soul. And that's what people don't understand as well. So I really think that what they're on is being able to, because our souls, they say, is a quantum fluid dynamic, and it can be transferred from one soul matrix to another one. So I think what they're trying to do is just live forever. I think the way that they
Hmm.
figured out immortality is that they'll be able to clone their DNA, make a replica of themselves exactly, so that they can fucking put their fucking consciousness inside of the clone using the fucking Neuralink chip. I mean, and that's
What
just
about this,
my
man?
perspective on
So
on what's going on with it.
the new little puppy I got, right?
Right.
So this is a Shih Tzu or Shih Tzu, however you want to pronounce it,
You got a
and a
clone puppy,
Chihuahua
bro.
mix. And it's a Shih Tzu and a Chihuahua mix, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's actually recognized as a true hybrid. Like it's recognized. It could be not by the American Kennel Association or whatever, but the Hybrid Association. So I started digging into why and where this dog came from, right? Bro,
Hmm.
China took the Shih Tzu and the fucking Chihuahua, and they did this to make it look like a miniature lion.
Yep.
Now,
That's crazy, bro.
when I got this dog, it was 9 weeks old, and it was walking around, and I kept telling my wife, I'm like, look, this dog looks like a mountain lion or something. The way it moves, the way it just vibes. And then I learned this shit, and I'm like, man, come on, bro. Like I knew it. So
Yeah.
I'm not
I
saying
mean,
it's a clone, but
Hey,
like
hey,
right.
think about
let me
that though.
ask
You
you:
know what I
do y'all
mean?
fuck with Black Mirror? You watch Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen
Did you?
all of
So
them.
y'all saw the episode where the girl lost her dude and she had him cloned and sent back?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to do something like that before. If they were to do something public, it would be something like that, and it would cost a ton of money.
No, not see. You know what they've already doing publicly.
Because
The first
people
thing
are
that I think
cloning
they
their
would
dogs
do,
right now.
I'm
right,
talking about if you lose your spouse, you literally
right.
could get Heather cloned, and Heather could be here working with Lil, cooking.
Nah, No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying they've already implemented some shit that's kind of like cloning, but it's for women to be able who can't have babies to be able to have babies, so they could take their DNA and they put it make that DNA of an embryo and they put that in there and then they they fucking impregnate the
You can
embryo
go
and
in
like
there and say, yes, I
she can
want
have a
that.
baby.
No, I
Yeah,
don't want that.
You
Yes, I
can
yeah,
want
yeah,
this
order a
color
person.
hair.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
want
can
this
order a
color hair.
baby, an embryo. Yeah,
But
you
you could
can
say, I
order
want
like
this
right
color
now.
hair. You could say
Yeah,
these color eyes. You could
I
say
want these
approximately this
attributes.
height,
What do you think they do
approximately
Yeah,
with these
this.
sperm banks? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
So it's
weird
like,
science. You just put a whole
yeah,
person together.
yeah, but listen, they have the technology. Obviously, it's not legal right now in the United States, but they do have the technology in other countries where, like I said, they called it a womb. They called it what they call it, Nova. I can't remember. We did a show on it on a Twitter
I
because
can't
it
remember
was
the
they
name
literally
name.
created a womb that you can have a baby in. You know what I'm
Basically,
saying?
like,
And so
yeah,
women can have babies
It's an
without work
artificial
leave
womb.
for
It's an
or women.
artificial womb.
Yeah, artificial womb. That's what they called it. Yep. They called it the artificial womb, and so they have these type of technology available in these other. So like I think this starts there, and that's a form of cloning. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
necessarily. It's more of a genetic splicing or whatever than like a direct clone. You know what I mean? But like that's like a cloning thing because you're taking semen from a candidate who meets the requirements and
but
mixing it. You know what I mean? But you're just having a baby with it, like externally, like while you still go to work and shit. Like you come home, like bro, and you can just check on the baby, and it's just sitting next to your desk type shit. And the baby's and like it's wild, bro. Like so they're doing that already. You know what I mean? Like I get what you're saying. Like when oh, I need my boyfriend died, I would like to clone him and get him back. You know what I mean? Like they probably will do some shit like that. But before that, they probably would do some, military wise. But I think right now it
or
costs too much. It costs too much to clone motherfuckers for like when they get the cost down, then yeah, I think they would use it more for the military. But what I think they would use it for militarily wise is to clone certain agents and certain people who and operatives that may have some kind of skills or information
right,
type shit. You know what I
like in
mean?
the
But like
movie Tron. That's why
yeah,
Flynn created Clue. It was another version of himself.
yeah,
But it
but
turned bad. It became a
yeah,
bad guy. But the point was, he felt like, let me redo me again, and me and myself will build this as something awesome. Because
yeah.
the copy version was the perfect version of him. The problem was the perfect version turned against him because obviously he has a problem with imperfection.
I
Oh,
think it would be.
yeah,
I think me personally, I think it would be more driven toward like companionship
yeah,
or bringing somebody back that you lost, like you were
right.
talking about. Whether it be a loved one, as in your wife or husband, or your kid or sister, brother, whoever. You know
Yeah,
what I
But
mean?
how do you transfer the memories if the
that's what
person
I'm
Well,
has
that's the
those
saying.
whole.
memories?
Wait,
That's
that's what Jason was talking about.
Yeah,
The
it's
Neuralink
your
thing.
soul. Your soul is a quantum fluid dynamic. You know what I mean? Like you can literally motherfucking transfer your soul. And this is coming from not like this is a conspiracy. I got a couple of fucking TikToks that I'm like I only follow like two things, and this one place is very fucking. This one TikTok is very interesting because they got a whole lot of interviews with people who supposedly worked, in
Hey,
the
and you know what, bro? You know what I want to say, man? Is like when people hear that, they automatically go to saying, "Oh, it came off TikTok." But do
uh,
people understand what the Associated Press, the AP, is? That means it's just a
yes,
bunch of journalists
right,
that are in this pool of journalism together,
right.
and it comes from so everything that people see on CNN, Fox, etc. It all
Oh,
starts from
you can
that
get
group
the
of people.
you
So
can
I'm
if
just
you got
saying
on there.
the new age of how things go is the
Yeah.
same, basically the same way as how it went when our parents were,
Hey
Oh,
man,
like
they
a
doing it.
started
lot of these.
saying TMZ is the people to trust. When TMZ says it, it happened.
A lot of
Exactly.
people don't be they, oh, it came from TikTok, but actually it didn't come from TikTok. It was posted to TikTok. Where it came from was this database of information that, you know, somebody actually goes out here and interviews
Right.
officials who have gotten permission from the government to speak. The reason why they get permission from the government to speak is because what they fucking say sounds fucking crazy, and then people don't fucking believe it anyways. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna believe that this fucking dude has a fucking alien wife and alien babies, and he didn't had babies with her. Her name is
Right.
or
But
some
guess
shit like
what,
that.
though?
You know what I'm saying?
At
Like,
the same time, you can wake up at 5 a.m. and watch these fucking congressional fucking hearings that they have with the real MIB.
right.
Yep,
See,
you're right.
I'm
You
just
know what
being,
I'm saying?
you know,
So it's
you're
like,
right.
you can't tell me
Right.
that the shit ain't what it is when I'm sitting here watching
Watching
it.
it. Yep. Yes, I've seen those interviews with
And
the
could it
fucking.
all be a show? Yes, the world is a stage, but
Yeah.
motherfucker, you got to go with something though. You can't just
Man,
not
UFOs.
just, you know what I mean? You can't just not
UFOs
be
are
just
real.
everything's wrong. Okay, well then what are you even doing then? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, there's got to
because
be
we're
some
supposed to be
truth
here
to
learning
even
shit,
build a
bro.
lie, right? Right? How is it, you know, without truth, there is no lie. You know what I mean? There's no
Exactly.
lie without
Exactly.
some kind of truth. You got to have a
And
truth or
usually there's some truth, and then there's a lie to come in and manipulate it, so people don't really know what the fuck that truth was.
right, or what it means, or how does it
Because you
affect you?
can't
Like,
control truth anyway. You can control a lie all day long. You got to, but you can't control truth. Truth just is what it is. A
yeah,
lie
but
is
at this point in
manipulated like a
time, though,
motherfucker.
I don't think, you know, I don't think the powers that be would benefit other than, you know, like replicating when it comes to cloning. I think they've been replicating livers and hearts and shit like that, and
Chickens,
yeah, well, just, you know, yeah, food. You know what I mean? They've been doing a lot of replications of the food and cloning the
cow.
food, but they've been doing, you know, body parts too. You know what I mean? But that goes on to
Well, think
why there's
about
been
it
like a
too.
lot of missing
Like,
children and shit
look
like
it
that.
up
So
right now. How many extremely famous people? I'm not saying that it's only extremely famous people, but how many headlines have
okay,
been made
reported,
by people cloning their dogs lately?
yeah,
A ton, bro. A
yeah.
ton. And then I know people, look, no lie. I know people straight up that have cloned their fucking dogs. My wife was
Man, what
going
if their
to.
dog
What
just
year,
turns on
Tiana?
them one day? What if their dog just turns on them one day, wiles out vicious?
That's
It's
hey,
like a
but you,
science fiction movie. All the
Yep.
clone dogs just turned on the humans.
Yep.
man, that shit is
The thing
fucking
is,
nuts,
bro, is
bro.
this is if we right now can think it, then it
Right,
is going on. Period.
right.
I've
Period.
always felt that
We've
way.
calculated ever since. Okay, so the Roswell crash happened, and we jumped like 20 to 25 years in our technology, right? But
Technology.
that's just the technology that's introduced to the public. Okay, the technology that's not introduced to the public is about 100 times more advanced than that. So at any given time, the the technology that's not released to the public is about 250 to 300 years ahead of what we have. So like, you know,
Currently.
when they give us a flying car finally, you know, they've already had it for 200 fucking 50 years. You feel what I'm saying? When they finally
Yeah.
give us, you know, a teleportation where I could fucking hit this
Hey
joint
man, look,
and I could
they've had
teleport it to fucking Nova, and then he could hit it and he could teleport it back to me. When that shit released to us, it was two they've already had it for
Jason.
200 years. Yeah.
Jason.
What
They
up?
had cell phones better than ours a long time ago.
Facts. They found shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's so crazy about it. So it's like to know that, then you know damn well they they ain't about to clone everybody, because obviously they want to kill half the motherfuckers on the planet right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's because half the motherfuckers is stupid as hell and are in the way sucking up
According to
resources.
what is that what is that called by the UN, the fucking World Economic Forum calls fucking what is it god damn, they got a name for it.
depopulation or some
or
shit.
not 20, it's just order 25 or some shit
Oh
like that,
yeah,
whatever the fuck it is,
yeah,
new world order 25, where it's supposed to fuck, they tell you, hey, the great reset, there we go, Kasika, thank you, they call it the great reset, you know what I mean, and all this other shit, but like these motherfuckers is really trying to, call the planet, you know what I mean, of the population. And when you think about that, they're not gonna they're not gonna let cloning be, everybody get, fucking a part of that. You know what I mean? Like only the rich, the wealthy, the powerful, the ones these nerds who, no, these communist nerds that nobody wanted to run the planet for some reason. They have a whole group now. They done got together and they call themselves the World Economic Forum, and that's what these guys are. They're all the communist motherfuckers that everybody didn't want in their countries, and they just all grouped together because they got all the fucking money. You know what I mean? And then since they got all the fucking money, then they got all the technology. So they're not gonna let motherfucker like me, you know what I mean, think high crew, a motherfucker like, yeah, right. You think they gonna let nigga like Nova get a hold of a cloning device? That shit ain't about to motherfucking happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah, they're not gonna let everybody. It's like a weapon. You're not allowed to have a felony to have a weapon. So everybody gonna be allowed to be cloning people. You better believe it.
exactly.
so so tell me then, you was talking Nov about this dude Rael, like what does he have to do with cloning?
Okay, so he started a cult, and the sole purpose of the cult was to connect with the Elohims that were going to come back. And so what you needed to do was prepare yourself and the earth for their return so it would be presentable for them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned from that into, like all the cults do, into like a
Right.
sexual thing. And then, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
from there, they started raising, hundreds of millions of dollars. And this cult went
Uh-huh.
on for 35, 40 years or something like that. Started in
Yeah, I see a
France.
lot about it on Google. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just, yeah, go ahead.
it started in France. And so
Mm-hmm.
they took the money that they were going to use for these embassies, and the embassy was where the Elohims would arrive, right?
Uh-huh.
And they took that money and they started putting it into cloning.
Oh
And the
shit.
guy Rael, he was from Israel, and he met this other woman that was actually a scientist, and she was
Is it
extremely
true that he's still
interesting.
alive?
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
I
actually,
think he Yeah, he's still
yeah,
alive.
he's
He's 77
yeah,
years old. Okay. I was just
yeah, he's alive and
answering my own
well.
question.
And so
Yeah.
now he says that a lot of it was, media driven. But
Okay.
if you look back at what all he had to go through, I don't know this obviously, but I think that he was probably led to say what he was saying on Netflix documentary. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
all the stuff that they went through, this got as high as you can get. Like there was
Right.
the national security of every country that these people were dealing with were watching
Wow.
them how hard, because they had a huge movement, man. And so then they took the
Right.
money, they put it into the cloning, and they were able to do it very hidden because of their citizenship, where they were
Right.
allowed to live and where things were legal at, because France frowned on the whole human cloning thing also. So they tried to get it in the United States and they couldn't do it there either legally. So they supposedly the first cloned baby that was born was baby Eve, and it looks like that it was born in Israel.
Holy
Um,
shit.
and so, like, you just got to think about like the different human rights laws and shit like that, and look at where they are with that over in Israel, and you'll kind of see that, yeah, it's in that time there was a lot more lax, so they probably did perform it there. So, and it started out with, like we were talking about earlier, a a guy and his wife lost their baby, and so they wanted to create their little boy. But these people took that idea and then they turned it into a female, hoping that they could take the female, clone her, and then she could have babies with the Elohims, right? And so
Wow.
that's what it was all about. The whole thing was driven in a spiritual way, but it was also driven for them to put a patent on that because this woman was real connected to put a patent on
Right.
that and to be able to sell babies to people, basically.
See, and you know what's so crazy when you start doing the research and you go back, that was like 2002.
Yeah, the the
Eve.
the cult actually started in like the late 40s in
Right,
France.
but this was
But
the baby, the Eve,
yeah,
2002. They just so there's a CBS News put out an article at early in the morning on December the 28th. Scientists announcement Friday that their group had produced the first cloned human being, triggered skepticism from the researchers, uh, condemnation from the religious groups, and all this other shit. A 7-pound baby was born on Thursday. So that they're the 28th. So they were damn near Christmas. This baby was damn near born on Christmas, right? Um,
yeah,
by
that's
staging
what
a C-section.
that's what they were aiming for. Now, okay, I want everybody to think about this now. If you get into the Jewish religion, which is it's called like multiple things, I think. So I'm just going to say that. And there's multiple Bible or books. If you get into the Jewish religion versus the Christian religion, I'm not even going to get into the Catholic, just Christian. You'll find out that Jesus Christ, when he quote unquote comes back, that's actually the
Yeah,
Jewish Antichrist. But then their return would be our Antichrist also.
right,
So
right.
if they create, I'm just saying, when I say they, I'm talking about these people were from Israel and they practice this religion that most Jewish people do. So if that was the case, which it was, then
Yeah, but we
were
gotta
they
understand too, though. That
creating something?
right,
Because they also
right.
said they were in touch with these Elohims. Now, some people refer to the Elohims as God. Some people refer to them as angels. Some people refer to them as angles of light, or different the way the light is hitting.
Yep.
So, and some people refer to them as just straight up devils, demon, whatever.
So what Nova? So what you're telling me
And
is that these people who practice the Judaism religion are more than likely on the Zionist spectrum. More
yeah, the
than
more
likely,
of
and let's
the
just say
trying to
more.
control a population type. So yeah, the Zionism, obviously.
Yes. So obviously it was a Zionism. Well, obviously if they say they have their descendants of these Elohim, what I mean, if they claim that, we also know that Zionists believe that they're descendants of Nimrod, which would kind of be like the first Elohim,
Right.
if
It's
you
like
would
this
want to
right
give
here,
them that
bro.
type of name.
Think about this. It's like this. There's a rabbi, right? And he owns Pornhub and OnlyFans. Now, do we think this rabbi is a nice, like a Jewish guy, right? That
Yeah,
we believe it,
would you want to say
or is this guy more on the Zionist
Orthodox
side?
practicing Jew? Let's say
Right.
that. I guess you would say, or do we think that he's an Orthodox practicing Jew, or do we think that he's uh, a
Did he
Zionist
convert,
Jew?
or you know what I mean? Like you just
Right.
got to look at
Yeah.
the whole vibe of it because it's real easy just to say something and people take it wrong. And it ain't even about that. There's a society among that culture, that society, that
Khazarians,
people don't really, yeah, they really don't
Ashkenazis,
know about.
Zyrants. You like that one? I like that one too. Zyrants.
So when you start talking about different planets and then different gods coming back for specific people only, and then they're creating clones to be able to mate with these supernatural type beings. It's really kind of a cool fucking story to dive into and to really like think about it. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, these people are the ones that are in every uh, decision making institution on the planet. So
Right.
if they can control the narrative like that, how much of a narrative can be controlled? And then
Right.
when that cloned baby ends up pregnant by a Elohim, what the fuck does that mean then?
What
You know
is
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, you're right. And if in the Judaism, in the Orthodox Judaism practice, that's why there's a lot of Orthodox Jews who don't agree with what the Zionists are doing when it comes to Israel and Palestine and the Palestinians in that conflict that's going on over there. So there's a lot of Jews who feel the Christ, their savior, hasn't returned yet. They're only supposed to establish a homeland when their savior has returned. So what Nova's getting at is that, so is in 2002.
And who's funding it all? Also, is what I'm trying to
Right.
say too. You know what I mean? Like,
Also, yeah, for
woo.
sure. Well, then you getting behind the scenes, behind the curtains on what's actually going on out here. So like if they gave birth to this baby on Christmas, and then they really started this fucking turning up on this shit in Israel with what the fuck they're fucking doing, and then like I
Because
said, there's
think about
accusations that
this
the baby
too.
could have been in Florida, and there's a whole bunch of crazy shit going on with that. But at the same time, like, it
Because
could
think about
be.
it, bro. Who was in Florida also? Who also was
Yeah,
all into this eugenic stuff and all this shit?
yeah.
The guy named Jeffrey
Well, even this
Epstein.
though, even the scientists, a lot of these people. See, what's so crazy is that I put it together like they were in um they were in Italy, right? Where the fuck was this shit at? I'm trying to, because in Italy is where that dude stays right now. What's his name? The guy
Mm.
that did the documentary, the dude, the God,
Oh, Rael.
Rael,
Yeah,
Rael. He
yeah, yeah,
stays in
yeah.
Italy,
Okay.
and the doctors and shit, and a lot of the scientists who are working on this shit are from Italy. I don't know if I'm just looking at the article and shit that they're talking about, and they're talking about these doctors and all this other shit on here, and these people who were working on it, but they're all they were Italian, and
Yeah.
it's weird.
Well,
But
I
I'm
don't
saying,
think he's Italian. I think he just lives
no,
there.
he's not. He's not
Yeah.
Italian. No, he just
Right.
lives there. That's what I'm saying. But if you just looking at it, okay, he lives in Italy for what? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then these scientists are from Italy who were working on
Italy
this baby
lets
thing.
people live there that most places don't let live there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Italy has got a very come one come all type situation. Almost like America, right? Shit, that's crazy. But these people
Yeah.
dip off to like Greece, Italy, uh, parts of Italy, just to be able to
Sweden.
live, bro.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of the world may or may not know that I've seen, that's actual fucking real life shit, is that in Israel, a lot of pedophilia offenders are Jewish, and quote unquote Jewish. I guess I would say quote unquote Jew Zionists. I won't say Orthodox Jew or anything like that. But and they can be extradited to fucking Israel. Like if you know what I mean. Like that's why a lot of people don't even know that type of shit. There's laws set in effect.
Hey
Like if
Jay,
if
hey
what up?
Jay, excuse me, I hate
What
to
up?
interrupt, but I got an appointment at 2 o'clock, so I'm about to bow out. But I didn't want to just disappear and not say
My
anything.
homie, for sure,
So
Jackson.
thank y'all for having me. I'll be back on another. Thank you for today. I appreciate the airspace, and y'all sound great and continue having a great show.
All right,
Appreciate you,
bro. We'll
bro.
holler at you later, man.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, but yeah, they're allowed to live in Israel. You know what I mean? They're allowed, if if they have, obviously if they're Jewish. You know what I mean? They can go to Israel, and they could be extradited.
Yeah. The thing is if you can trace your DNA
Yes.
back to the quote unquote homeland, then you can live there.
But they can't
And
even trace their DNA back there. So it's just like, really, it's like if you claim to be a Zionist type shit and you get caught doing some pedophilia shit, you know what I mean? They're okay, come on over here. You know what I'm saying? You be all right over here. Like that's wild though. You know what I mean? To think that, because like they don't even allow you to do DNA tests over there in Israel, because if they DNA tested all of those cats over there in Israel, they wouldn't even be from Israel. Or
well, and
obviously,
another thing too is like, like the Muslim population,
listen,
the they would find out that they're all
yeah.
from that same area.
From that side. Yeah, you're right too.
The
Yep. Because
Shia,
then what?
the Sunni, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
wouldn't
get what
even
you
be
mean.
that
A
wouldn't
beef
even
no
be a
more.
thing anymore, a beef or whatever you
Right.
call it.
Yeah.
Just like
It
over
wouldn't be
here,
that.
like if you let a white male and a black male have some hard conversations and come to an understanding that, wait a minute, a lot of the stuff that we're told about each other that makes us
Right.
not like each other isn't even all the way true.
Right.
And so then it bridges a gap, and then
Yeah,
the
it
divide
changes.
isn't there. So then Republican and Democrat fades away, and it just becomes one. And we
Yep.
got to be able to see through this type of shit, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
that's why we just want to make y'all mindful of some crazy shit. Like if you understand technology and what's going on in the world, you know what I mean? Like we've always painted that picture to help you guys realize that the world is a stage. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a guy who's putting hundreds of millions of dollars into this shit. This is a cult that still exists. This is not something that is old. I mean, like or like it's been started in the 40s and it still exists. You feel what I'm saying? Like these motherfuckers are
hmm
still out here. So it's like this is something just to be mindful of. Like there's really groups of people who've gotten together and putting hundreds of millions of dollars into cloning.
yeah.
We have a
And
man
so
named
then,
Eve who was
then like once, because like, okay, you can believe it or not, but it's a thing. All right.
right.
So
Right.
then the question is, for what? You know? And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, so there's going to be different ideas and different things that we think that a clone would do. But for me, I think what I think of immediately is if I lost somebody I loved and I wanted to,
Right.
and I didn't go through the
You're
grief
thinking
process
of
yet.
it.
Think about that.
Yeah.
If you didn't go through the
Right.
grief process and you were able to like just like be put to sleep for like until the clone becomes, and you just really just almost like streamlined, seamless, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then would we want to do that? A lot of people would.
Right.
Some people would be like,
Yeah.
nah, that's fucking weird. Some people like, yes, so
See, but that's the whole thing, you know what I mean? When we start figuring out like what comes with that, you know what I mean? Because we don't the other side of things is where the back end of shit. You know, it's kind of like,
exactly.
when Susan was ordering,
It's not
yeah, when
always the
Susan
debate of if is it real or not.
right, right. Facts, you know.
Just like you were
And it's
saying.
oh yeah, it's wild. Oh my god, the perspective that you could have on life, just understanding, that the shit that they put in the movies and shit like that could be possibly something that's real. Like Who Cloned Tyrone? Great movie, another movie on Netflix. Like why is this type of shit just, also being pushed around Netflix or any place like that where you know what I mean to get
Right.
people to look at, you know what I mean? Like Who Cloned
Right.
Tyrone? They're talking about as a whole governmental experiment of cloning a whole neighborhood and putting them
Right.
under these just to test shit,
Think
just to
about this,
test
bro.
shit on them.
Everything that we are pre-programmed with ends up coming true.
Hmm.
So if they're going to pre-program you to not be so freaked out about a fucking human clone,
Right.
and they did that with the whole pandemic, and they do that with the racism, and they do that, I could go down the fucking line of everything they do it
Yeah.
with.
Well,
Do
eventually
we
that's gonna be
really
like,
think
oh,
that this time it's not going to be true?
bruh. Like, and then it'll be if it's gonna be, I don't know, man. It's going down the line of like transhumanism all the way. Like
Exactly.
you're gonna be able to fucking, like clone yourself or integrate yourself into like the whole internet and the ether and shit because people don't understand like all of these wavelengths and shit. You know what I mean? Like all that shit's associated. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's
All that
all
shit's
it's
connected.
everything that we're doing with this whole internet, Wi-Fi, cell phones, computers. It all travels and communicates through radio frequency. It's just
And on top
tapping
of that,
into the
no, like
different
how you
frequencies.
think it's exactly how you think they got a chip right now that they're taking humans who want to do it, it's not kind of like human trials where they'll plant the chip in your head and with that chip you can control all of your electronic devices with your fucking mind. So I would
Exactly.
be able to, type with my mind. I would be able to switch screens with my mind. It would just be able to. My brain would be able to talk to the phone, into the computer, into the radio, into the TV, into the Xbox, into the lap, into the tablets, into everything like that. Like that's fucking wild to think that they already have that. That shit fucking exists. You
Yeah,
feel what I'm
man.
saying? It's real.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
It's like,
doing it.
okay, so even if you don't want to swallow it and admit it, you should ask yourself, Well, if you care, right, then
Right.
why or for what reason? Like we ask people, what's your
Yes,
why?
sir.
So we could ask
What's
these
your why?
motherfuckers, what's your why? Because their shit was called Clone Aid or some shit like that. What's your
Yeah.
why, Clone Aid? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why are you
Yeah.
cloning babies? Oh, because you want to sell them. Because they said they already
Yeah.
had a business plan wrote up. Bro,
Yeah.
it was $200,000 per baby. They already
Yep.
had the plan wrote up, everything. You could come
Yes,
in,
it was.
basically designer kid or designer
Yep.
baby. You choose it, however the fuck, and
Susan
boom.
said cha-ching.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. And
So
see, you know what? That's crazy, no? Because I feel you on that. Like they would, I think they would go a little bit. I think they would go a little bit more towards like almost like free labor. Like it all depends on if like robots started becoming, because the technology, the metals, and all that shit that we need to keep programming, and that goes into these microchips, and that goes into our phones and all that other shit. That shit's just getting more scarce and more expensive, right? Like
right.
then you would think that they would just have robots doing all the slave work, but like to me it seems like it'll get even to that point that cloning might be cheaper than building a motherfucking slave robot. And then now you got people who give the government permission to clone them so that they can have a slave. But like, what does that do to your conscience? If our soul and our consciousness is a quantum fluid dynamic that can be transferred from one thing to another, like what does that do? You know what I mean? Like you said, the back end, like why? Like why? Like
Yep.
what's really, to me, I think it's to solve the immortality issue. Because if I could upload your consciousness to a chip, then have y'all seen altered carbon before?
Right. But think about it.
Yeah.
Even though,
Like
like,
that.
whatever they solve, whatever problem they solve, or whatever greatness they create, the actual drive of it, unless the person that started this movement was trying to bring someone back for them, the actual drive of it's always money.
Right.
That's crazy, right? And then, so
Yeah.
then in these cults, when they get so big, the
That's
money
wild about Rael.
isn't even strong enough. It's sex. So the only thing
Yeah.
more obtainable on this planet is your soul or your sex. And if you
Right.
know what SEX stands for, then they're getting
Sacred
some of your
energy
soul when they get your
exchange.
sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's crazy, man. Think about maybe what if they're cloning people just to do
it's
that?
like and you know what, that's wild, because when I look this dude up, you know what I mean? Like that's like the number one thing that people like to write about this dude is, how sexual the cult was. But nobody is talking about how they spent millions of dollars, trying to create clones. You know what I mean? It's literally a lot of them just literally talk about how it's a cult, and they were doing some sexy shit, and
Yep.
that's really about it. You know what I mean? Like, but when you type in baby Eve, you get some shit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
you see
CNN.
all the medias, the CNNs, the Foxes, the
Yeah,
CBSs, the ABCs,
and even
all
he
the alphabet
claims.
agencies.
Yeah,
That's
he
what I'm gonna start
defends the
calling the
claims.
media.
No,
Y'all hear it live. The media is now the part of the alphabet agency.
Clonade stunned the world last week by claiming that a woman had given birth to the first ever cloned human being, a little girl that the company named Baby Eve. Rael, a judge in Florida, signed a paper saying that to protect the child, it has to be taken away from the mother. And I cannot understand why something like that should happen, says Rael. Clone Aid, founded by members of the sect called Raelians, believe mankind was created by extraterrestrials. It says Eve will not undergo genetic testing to compare her DNA to her mother's, which would prove or disprove Clone Aid's claim. Is cloning a legitimate or just a publicity stunt? So the big question is these niggas telling the truth, about this baby? I mean, they've technically spent a lot of money, you know what I mean, on this type of shit. And he did a whole interview back in 2003 January with
Now, also, don't forget, Bill Clinton
yeah,
made it a
yes,
point to talk about this, and then George Bush
yes,
Jr. made it a point to have
signed a
a
bill.
fucking Senate hearing and signed a
Yeah.
bill on it making it illegal in the United States. Now, if this shit's
Yep.
so fucking fake, what the fuck are the presidents signing bills about it for? Now, I'm not saying everything the president signed bills for is real, but I'm also
But that's a
saying,
good question, though.
you know what I mean? If it's just some motherfuckers running a scam, then what the fuck are the
Yeah.
presidents of the United States getting involved for? That's all I'm
Right. And I
saying, bro.
wonder, and I wonder, and Matt raised a good question. What does nobody knows what Baby Eve looks like? So Baby Eve could be fucking Taylor Swift, nigga.
Baby Eve might be anybody. Shit, Baby Eve might
You
have
got it.
underwent some sex change shit already. I
I'm just
don't
saying,
know, Baby Eve, but
2002.
hey, Baby
How old
Eve
would that
might
make?
have both, homie. Baby Eve might
Check it.
already Baby
Two,
Eve might be Baby Eve Adam.
2002. How old she would be now? 22,
24. Oh,
24. No, she was
2002?
born in 2002. Yeah,
Yeah,
22.
22.
She'd be 22. So yeah, so it's like she could be fucking somebody that we fucking see every day. Or she could be somebody we never see. You know what I mean? Think
Yeah.
about it. Like that shit is fucking
What if
bananas,
that's the next president?
But wait though, so like it is wild because like I mean, one thing that I've been
Not the
trying to find
next, but you know what I'm saying.
is the connection between the laws in like in what Israel was doing to Palestine along with because like we know that was even before then. So if that was before then, like who is really who do these Jew Zionists, who do they really think their savior is if they believe in Judaism, where they said that they're in exile, the Jews are in exile until their Savior returns. Okay, and so they made Israel, they established this Israel. Whether a lot of people say it's a false Israel or whatever, but it could be under the pretense or the belief that their Savior or their Jesus has returned, their Messiah has returned. Um, but who is that person? And is that why they are doing this in for the first place in that area? You know what I mean? These are all like just questions that make me, because you talk about this Rael dude, and he's supposedly from Israel. When you look at his shit, he's living in Italy. They got this cult shit going on. Like, and they did this cloning so that they would be able to fucking on some weird shit, for the Nephilim or the fucking Anunnaki, whoever the fuck they believe is
Or they
created
call
us,
them the
is coming back.
Elohims. They had
Right, the
songs, bro.
Elohims.
They was like Elohims.
They was
I swear, when you get to this part, you're gonna be like, oh, it wasn't a bad impression. He did it right. They were like
right.
Elohims, Elohims. But these are like people that almost sound Middle Eastern when they're singing that, but they're not. It's just fucking mind blowing, bro. That these motherfuckers really got brainwashed to the point to where they thought, you know what I'm saying? Like
Well, what's even
people
mind
were
blowing,
selling
what's
their
even more
houses,
mind
bro.
blowing, but what's even more crazier than that is that all the money that they made went to fucking cloning, and the shit's going down. Like them niggas claim, them niggas got that fucking invested in that company, got them niggas to supposedly clone a motherfucker. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like as real or not real, the motherfucker's name is Rael, Rael. You switch the A and the E around, it spells real. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like it's crazy. It's a play on fucking words at the same fucking time. You know what I mean? So like we just have to be mindful of what is going on around us so we know what the fuck to do. Like when we talk
Exactly.
about clones in our motherfucking rap songs, what up, poetic? We talk about clones, we're like, oh, these rap, and I really mean that shit. Like I don't think that it's beyond us. Like I said, I've listened to many people who have claimed and I've watched videos of them attached to polygraph tests. George
Well,
Green did a polygraph test. There's a bunch of these cats who like, I mean, you could fake those all day
I
too.
know
Like, you know what I
this
mean?
that
It's
they
just wild.
cloned a sheep, and when I say they, I
Right.
mean scientists and stuff, cloned a sheep. Now, we know more about human DNA. We know about more human everything than we do a sheep.
Right.
Because a
Right.
sheep just is, I mean, what does a sheep really do that
But
much?
would
You
you
know what I
know?
mean? Like,
Would you know? So Matthew says, "Show
why
me
we
your
so
belly
worried
button if
about
you ain't a
sheep?
clone." That's a good question. But like the one dude that I watch, he explained that. they can clone you direct like a complete replica. So you would have a belly button technically. If you have a belly button now, you would have a belly button, you know what I mean, as a clone, and that your soul is a quantum fluid dynamic, and they could transfer that from one body, one shell to the next shell. And
Right.
that would make
The
sense.
interesting
I mean,
question also is like, do you have to, when you clone okay, we'll just say sheep, okay? When you clone a sheep, do you
uh-huh.
clone it in a petri dish, and does it have to be born in a womb or an artificial womb, even that? Or
Yeah.
can you clone it to grow in a tank per se and clone it to a certain age? And so
Okay,
it
so
gets
these clones,
that
that
size,
lamb,
that age.
that sheep was born out of another sheep. So they use the sheep for the womb, right? Just like with baby Eve, they use the actual mom as the
Yeah,
womb.
human.
Yeah, they use a surrogate or
Okay, so
sheep.
doesn't I just want to say real quick because this might be a surprise to people, but doesn't this sound like the Bible story? Holy
Wow,
shit.
it
And who
does.
wrote the Bible? And what was Jesus? Man, come on, man.
No, it
Hey,
does. I mean, if it says, let us go down and make man in our image. You know what I mean? Like that
boom.
that
And
uh
then and
that
then what? And then it's like there's a baby that's born to a woman
a
and she's a
virgin.
virgin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit, I'd have left Mary's ass. I don't know. I don't know if that's. I mean, in
Yeah,
reality, she'd
but
have
what if
probably
she
been
got
stoned.
but what if there was a clone situation
You're
and
right.
she
I
got
feel
paid
it.
100 bands to hold the baby and birth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, man, come
Yeah,
on,
but
man.
how do
Ain't
you
that
explain that to your husband, nigga? Like you go like, and
because
then
he
back
goes
then,
because you talk to him at first, he goes down there with you and you become a person
yeah,
that will do that. And then they call you up
yeah,
and they're like, "We got one for you." And your husband's like, "How much they
yeah.
charging? 100 or how much they giving us? 100,000? Shit,
100
we can have
shekels, Susan said.
right." And it ain't even got to be 9 months. They fasten
Right.
it up
What up,
where it's
Nana Wusu? Yeah, I'm with
yeah,
you,
man.
bro.
You know what I mean? I
That
mean,
shit crazy.
because people could say like, "Oh no, cloning's so new. There's no way they could do it 2, 3 thousand years ago." But how do you know that though? And I'm just
Yeah. I
sick and
mean,
tired of people talking about stuff that they don't really know about. If you can't
right.
prove it, don't you just
I think
say
we should
like
be
we
I think we
say
should be
allegedly.
aware of the possibility. Yeah, I think we should be aware of the possibilities because all right, if we
Hey, think
have
about
the
it this, bro.
technology,
Before Michael Jordan jumped from the free throw line, who thought about that shit from
right,
dunking from the free throw line?
right.
What
Who the fuck is
average
even in the
human
free throw
being
line?
thought
Right.
about, I'm gonna jump from the free throw line and slam dunk a 10-foot basketball goal
Right.
until they saw this motherfucker do it, and then it became one of the most popular dunks in the dunk contest.
Right. Hey,
Man, anything's possible, homie.
well, I look at it like you have to be open because if you stay closed minded, then you're not gonna really grasp the full of everything. Like you have to take it all in. Like you
Right,
can't say like, oh, do you believe that two people, the whole world came from two people, and you can't believe that, you know what I'm saying, some other species cross genetically modified us or
right.
created us as
Well,
test tube babies, and you can't believe, hold on, you can't believe one and not the other if we already have the technology to clone ourselves. You feel what I'm saying?
exactly.
You can't deny one or the
And
other. You know what I
and
mean?
think about this too. Life in general finds a way to continue to create or procreate and survive. And so that's all that is just another form of evolution of ourselves learning how to create in a different way other than the normal way of producing a child. And I mean, I don't see what's so crazy
There's a
about it.
crazy book I'd
It just
like to
seems
shout
like
out real quick. There's a book called Adam and Adepa. Y'all should check that out. Just because it goes back to this. It's this cloning topic, but it also goes back to like the first Adam and Eve, the first Eve ever. The first type of clone. There was like and some people call it conspiracy. Some people say, "Oh, these are just ancient, myths and stories." But like I said, we we have there's government documents that prove this shit is real. You know what I mean?
Wait,
And that people in
hey,
organizations
why
doing
isn't
this
there
shit.
any information about Jesus other than the time that the Bible talks about? It's almost like he was cloned, huh?
Bruh, I'm just saying, bro. I always
Yeah, I'm
ask
just
people this. I say,
because
ain't no
think about this,
way.
bro. Think about this too. Think about it, bro. I just hit me in the brain. Every other story that's just like Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, he might be a
all of
clone,
them.
bro. I'm thinking
But I mean, and it
I'm
starts with
thinking there's a clone in the
Nimrod.
building at this point.
And Nimrod, I mean, think about it. And Nimrod was the
Right.
first one. I mean, when you talk about shit like that, bro, do y'all know how ISIS and how Horus was born? You know how ISIS fucking took the
Same
severed
way.
penis.
All these
Like
other
it's
stories
weird.
the
It's
same
weird.
way.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, and then you have them telling us, "Oh, let us go down and make man in our image." And I've
In
asked
our
Pastor this.
image.
I said, who is us? They're like, oh, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm like, so God was talking to himself 3 times over? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. They're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I'm like, so he was standing there 3 times is what the fuck you're saying.
Right.
He was him, the Holy Ghost, and like, so who was us? Let us go down and create man in our image, not in
Mm-hmm.
my image, our image.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then and they're like, oh yeah, it was the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm like, so it was him
Why is
3
the Holy
times standing next
Spirit? The
to each
Holy
other.
Spirit ain't even got no image.
But how is it outside of your body, outside of
Supposedly.
yourself? Why is you getting somebody to write this? So supposedly you got somebody, a prophet, to write this down. Like and he's supposed to be writing this down as in like one person is telling the story. How does he know, let us go down and create man in our image? Like that shit is so crazy. And that's how it translates too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like that shit makes, and I've asked that and people don't get it. So I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense that there's more than one type of fucking, what you want to quote unquote call an alien or extraterrestrial or Elohim or whatever the fuck kind of label you
Mm-hmm.
want to give a motherfucker that actually might have had some hand in the creation of the human species.
Yeah. And think
I
about
mean,
it.
it's
All right. That would explain why Jesus, coming from that region of the world, would look fair skinned and white.
that too.
So
That
maybe
too.
he was that color.
Maybe.
You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Hey,
Yeah.
anything's possible, man, because once
I
you
don't.
learn that history is actually his story and it's only written and controlled by the winners and the
Yeah,
people that control it, then you look at
yeah.
everything else a little bit different.
The fun
And
part about it is finding the truth out of all of it, because
right.
you know that somewhere in there's a foundation that all of that shit had to be built on, right?
And you know what,
So
Jason? Say less,
yeah,
bro. Say less.
Their God died. You see? And this is also a plot on them. These are our humans. And I say we all belong to each other. But our smartest people watch their greatest dream of finding an external God die. They've become death.
Woo!
Destroyer of worlds.
Hey.
Yo, most these guys want Hollywood. All I want is that real shit. I put the game on silent mode, so all I see is that real shit. I'm full circle, all degrees, full spectrum. All I need is a womb and a full moon, full bloom. I run right through that sunlight to the realm of the unbegotten. No light, like everything came from black. This is the alchemy, now you can see it. I brought it up out of me. Now you can feel it, my vibrationality. Taurus and Scorpio, Venus and Mars. I am the voice of the galaxy. I speak and create my reality. I am on fire, that water is burning inside of my eye. Everything audibly turning inside of my mind, converted to time. Now you can see how I see it. I know that seeing is believing. Soon as I made the incision inside of myself, made a decision to fly. Open your mind. All they gon' say is I'm tripping by how I deliver vibrational light. All they gon' say is I'm missing by how I position these thoughts in my mind. All they gon' say is I'm missing by how I be saying I never could die. All they gon' say is I'm tripping, now watch how I light up the earth with my eye.
Because they are in the box. See, this is what happens with religion. And when you take on religious structures, religion is designed to make the person predictable, to make the person so that when something occurs, they already know what 80% of the people are going to do. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to kill nothing or let nothing die. They're not going to even protect their own. They're going to stick their heads into the sand. That's what it teaches them to do in the book. They're just going to turn the other cheek. So we got that. See, that's how they think.
I feel I'm in the zone, can you roll back? Time zones can't unfold that. Feeling my spine right tied to my mind. The light laid lines along a towpath. Now I'm feeling so good that it's so bad. I tried dying once, but I came back. These infinite minds creating infinite times. I start trekking like a nomad. Now it's looking like glyphs on my notepad. Feelings that I never knew I had. Coming from this vision, the alternated dimension said he's stacking up this wisdom for this long path. Now I'm feeling alright when I'm up all night trying to work out this lost math. Reroute my star map, elevated thoughts, but I'm feeling like a psychopath. Now tell me where all my psychos at, the ones that are ready to fight them back. Take back the lies, break the trance, reveal the truth to the youth so they stand a chance. Now I know there's a lot that I don't understand, but the least they can say is that I gave a damn, and I made a plan. Uplift every single woman and man to where they understand. There's a God inside waiting to take command. Breaking down this goddamn, I said breaking down that goddamn. I know that you can feel it, I can feel it in me. It's that burning feeling of wanting to be free, wanting to be supreme. SOTOV, I am truth to the youth so they stand a chance, and I'm gone.
This is just not the time for you to listen to some deep information, maybe smoke a spliff or something, and then chill out on it before you go to work on Monday. This is about getting you out of the matrix. This is about taking you to an entirely different scope of your existence so you can really assist those that are around you. This is about clearing up your biorhythm.
I got chill bumps, by the way.
Your lineage, because of the situation that I'm about to explain, you'll see that everyone is lost.
Yeah, Draconian's right in the 6. I'm the dog who's holding the 9. Surprised to see the Supremes. We dissolving the fabric of time. 241. Evolution has started, creation is done. All that is left is to waken the mass. Your world is on fire, might as well rise from the ash. When a million wake up, when a milli wake up.
When a millie wake up.
The American dream will no longer be for the travels ahead. Need no man to sleep. The story before was shackles and sheep. Revealing thyself through the shallow and deep. Reaching for heaven, I'm too dumb to see. I was reaching for something that lies within me. To say that I'm great is something these niggas hate. I say I'm God and they can never relate. I mean, it's not that I'm better, I just know what I ain't. And the perception of yourself, my nigga, never equates. That's cause perception itself has been altered and changed. Just for example, you don't see that you're slaves. You believe you are free cause you don't see any change. But ever since birth, they've been caging our brain. But I got them keys, no more bars for the game.
Man, what if the spiritual war?
Yeah, that was the first ever
everybody talks
album,
about?
Susan. I'm sorry. We got together. SOTOV happened. I mean, I knew Brandon and all of them before then, but yeah, it was the first time I met Nove, and we met Nove, and we made an album in like, 8 weeks or some shit? So maybe you were 8 weeks behind, but nobody knew we were linking up to do the album anyway. We just dropped it. It was like, boom. Hey, what's up, world? So yeah, you were right on time for 1512. Sorry about that, Nove.
No, just so think about the spiritual warfare that people talk about. All right. Now, if I refer to myself as a god, and there is a religion that associates themselves with the synagogue of Satan, is it too crazy to believe that it's as above, so below? It's the yin, the yang. It's live, let live. Or it's good versus bad. Whatever you want to say. Is it too crazy to believe that there is something going on from day fucking one, whenever that is, between this type and between this type? And this type over here wants to fucking control people. And this type over here just wants to be left the fuck alone, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just the energy of or what it is, but I swear, I think that Think High Crew in general is going to be able to find out some really interesting answers to some questions that people just cannot fucking put the pieces together to.
Hey, and you know what though, and you know the ones that we can't, like, it'll be a forever journey that they're more than welcome to fucking tag along and try to help figure it out.
Or if
we're not gonna know all the secrets to life, and that's fine.
No,
You know
if
what I
we
mean?
could just
We'll
spark
probably
something.
find them out when we die. Right there, you go. I was just about to say that. You always take my punchlines. What that motherfucking Tupac
That's
say?
why.
He
That's why
said,
I was. That's why I'd have been such a. That's why I could freestyle, bro, because I already know what the
yeah.
motherfucker finna say. Like,
You
oh,
say,
I read you, bitch. I got you. Wham.
what
They're
Pac
like,
say?
damn, I was finna say that.
I
Fuck.
might not be the nigga to change the world, but I might spark the mind that changes the motherfucking world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just think high, and that's the whole thing, like behind
Yeah.
that.
See,
You know what I
our
mean? Like
thing
be
is think
aware.
high. His was like thug love. So basically, if you
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
what we represent and what that represents, not trying to copy or trying to associate anything. This just came up in conversation,
right,
but like,
right.
it's the same shit, bro. It's fucking be
Yeah.
aware, love yourself. Don't bow down
Hmm.
to nobody. You don't got to do wrong, but don't let no motherfucking body do wrong to you.
Right.
Be
Yeah.
yourself. Think outside of the
Yes.
box. Don't be
Be
controlled.
unique.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro.
Embrace your uniqueness. Don't let nobody tell you what your worth is. You know what I mean? Don't stand under anything, but stand on fucking something, and something that's solid, a foundation of truth. Because no matter all the what ifs, no matter what the fuck we talk about, and how deep the rabbit hole fucking goes, there's a reality that we both share, that we both
Exactly.
know, that if that up is up and down is down, in is in, out is out, left is, you know what I mean? There's a
Like, look,
genuine foundation that we should all know.
everybody knows what up and down is, like you just said. And deep
Right.
down, everybody knows what's good and what's bad. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
we was
about
born with that
dressing a
shit.
certain way or acting like this, whatever. I'm talking about really good shit versus really bad shit. You know the difference. Even if you're a
Yeah,
fucking psychopath, even if you're a sociopath and you don't really feel anything,
yeah,
you still know, bro.
yeah. You do.
Because if you're a
You do.
sociopath and you don't feel it, why are you hiding the body in the fucking cut up freezer? Why don't you
Right.
do? You see what I'm saying? So you know
Yeah,
it's
I
wrong.
understand. You
Yeah,
know. Yeah, just like kids, they know. And you know what I mean? It's the same way. They know, and we try to make it seem like they don't know because they haven't had as much experience on Earth. But we're
exactly.
innately born knowing what the fuck is up.
We
So
got
we
two
just want
more
to make
minutes,
people
bro.
mindful.
And you know,
All right, I just want to thank everybody for showing up for another Mindfulness Monday. I appreciate y'all, God and Goddesses. Shout out to Susan down there. She got the crown, top super fan. We'll be back tomorrow for Fuck Around Find Out Tuesday, and we can get into a bunch of crazy shit that I fucked around and found out over through the weekend and Super Bowl. And I know Nova has some shit in his back pocket as well. But stay tuned. The forum's up, www.thinkhighcrew.com. We can continue all of these conversations right online because we in there. That's like our own little social.
yeah. If you can't access it with a computer, that's okay. You could just use your phone. Go to thinkhighcrew.com. When you get there, if you don't already have the app, it's going to ask you if you want to download the app. You can grab the app. It makes it easier. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for people that are interested in the live. If not, you can catch us anywhere you can catch any podcast. What's up, Joe Rogan? We come